Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I've got another video and I think it would be a little too late to call it top 10 winter fragrances when all the other videos started pouring in from November onwards. But you can also say that these are my January favorites because I've been using these 10 fragrances on a regular basis throughout December and January, and I will be continuing till the end of January or maybe a little longer. But these are essentially 10 fragrances that only come out, at least 5 of them, that only come out during the winter months. So without further delay, let's get started. So I've got a few fragrances over here that I kind of use throughout the year, not just through the winter months, but they are not very comfortably warm weather fragrances, I will admit that, but I like them so much I kind of end up using them at different times of the year as well. The first among them is Dior Addict, though I would like to call this more like a fall winter fragrance, but this is such a beautiful, gorgeous, elegant kind of a perfume, a bit on the creamier side, a bit sweet, a bit on the white floral intensity, which makes it more wearable, more likable in the colder months. But I have used it in the warmer months as well, and it goes perfectly well. So there's nothing wrong with it, which is why it is at number 10. This is more like vanilla, white florals, a little bit sweetness, a little bit creaminess, a lot of creaminess actually, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. And like I said, this can go right up till April maybe, or on days when, even through the summer months, on days when it is not too particularly hot, or if it is windy or rainy, when you have a spell of chill weather. So this can work well. But of course from November onwards, this can be like a go-to perfume for most of us, so which is why I've picked this up for the number 10 position on winter fragrances. This is an absolute favorite from the month of November onwards, and it goes right till March, because after March, when it becomes hot and humid in my city, this cannot be your companion. So this is Dolce Gabbana's The Only One, and I can't tell you how gorgeous this is. Like this beautiful fusion of floral and caramel sweetness, this beautiful powdery floral fusion with a lot of caramel sweetness, vanilla sweetness, of course. It's gorgeous, and the longevity and the projection is humongous on this one, and I've worn it already a lot. I mean, I don't spritz a lot, but this one is gorgeous, and the longevity is humongous on my skin. At least it lasts forever on my skin and on my clothes. So Dolce Gabbana's The Only One is a perfect accessory to be worn throughout the winter, and even through the months of February and March. It's only in April when I get the first beads of sweat on my forehead, I know this is time to put this back in the shelf. The next one, most of you know by now that this is not a particularly huge favorite of mine, but then I know a lot of people love this perfume. In my house, even my mom loves it a lot. And this, I have to admit, this is a little huge on the projection and the concierge and the longevity side, on all sides actually, on all those fronts actually. But as far as the perfume is concerned, it's beautiful. And yes, in my opinion, it kind of gets a little, too intoxicating in the summer months, which is why I reserve it only for very, very cold days when it's pretty comfortable to wear. So this is Mugler's Alien, and this is very heavy on the Indian jasmine, and there's a little woodiness to it, which can get, it's beautiful actually. But then there has to be those days when you want to like it, and then there are those days when I don't like it. So of course for the winter months, when it's absolutely cold around here, then this can become a comforting accessory on any day, but not in the warmer days, definitely not. The next perfume, which is on the 7th position, is Nuit Oud from the house of Maison Lancôme. This is a new acquisition of mine, and I have to say I'm loving it absolutely. This is an absolute love because if it is the winter time, there is no better time to wear an oud fragrance than the winter months, in my opinion, because these are intense perfumes, and summer months full of hot and humid temperatures is not the best time to wear an oud fragrance. This is a beautifully woody, earthy, musky kind of a fragrance, very, very long lasting on my skin. The projection is also moderate, but quite impressive, and I'm loving it. I've been loving it for all the days that I've worn it during December, and even in January I'm wearing it, and I'm loving it actually. This is very, very beautiful, and of course I heard that this is discontinued, so which is why I'm kind of a careful user when it comes to this one, but it's very, very comforting. It stays close to me. I don't know too much about the projection, because this is, as I said, this is new to my collection, and I haven't had too many people tell me, haven't had too many compliments from this, so I won't say the projection is very strong, but I like it because it stays close to me, and I can sniff myself, I can smell myself feeling good, woody goodness, so I love it. The next perfume is an absolute favorite of mine. Again, I wear it, I've got it recently, about 4 or 5 months, and I've been using it. I think I got it in November, not 4 or 5 months, 2-3 months, and I have been loving it since then. So this is again new to my collection, so I really don't know how it will fare in the warmer months, but I feel it's going to be nice. I hope it is going to be nice, because I really like it and I would like to use it throughout the year. So this is Angel Muse. So that bottle design is amazing. This is, to me, patchouli and chocolatey patchouli kind of thing. There's vetiver, there's hazelnut, there's patchouli. This is, to me, a very chocolatey patchouli kind of thing. Of course, I get the hint of vetiver also, and this is not very intense, this is not very light, this is definitely not a freshie, but at the same time it's not that huge dark chocolate or sweet kind of thing, which is why I'm really hopeful I can use it during the summer, that this can be another perfect round the year kind of fragrance. But so far I've used it only in the winter, in the colder days, so let me see how it comes how it fares when it comes to April and May, which is like the hottest months in my city. So I'm really hopeful for this, but so far I'm loving it. On number 6, this is an absolute favorite, and in my opinion this can be the perfect round the year fragrance, though this is more associated with the fall winter fragrances. This is Orchid Divini from the house of Van Cleef and Arpels, and I wear it in the summer as well. I've had this in my collection for over 3 years now, and I can tell you safely that I've worn it during the summers, on days when I just had the mood for it, and it has never intoxicated me to death or anything like that. I've never got a headache because of the sweetness of the vanilla and things like that. This is a beautiful balance of sweetness and floral infusion. This is a beautiful balance of several notes, like there's chocolate in it, there's vanilla of course, and then there are fruity notes in it, and then there's tonka bean. All of it makes it such an amazing fragrance that this can go during the daytime, during the evening hours, and even on winter mornings. It may not always be as cold and as chilled as expected during the colder months, and those are the times when this can be a perfect fragrance, even on days when it's very cold and I prefer to stay at home. Of course, during the pandemic, that was the standard situation. So this was the best way to spend time. This is, in fact, to me, at all times, pandemic or otherwise, the best way to spend your cold days and nights at home. Just this is like celebration in itself and extremely lovable. So now we come to the top 4 fragrances. And these are like intensely winter. They're like, there's like no two ways of explaining it. They are only winter. Very, very cold days and nights of the winter months. After March, after February, these are to be shelved, and there should be a law for it, because the first 2 especially, I'm talking about the first 2, they can be nowhere near a hot day or a warm day, anything like that. So in number 4, I have this beautiful, gorgeous fragrance. It's called Black Orchid from the house of Tom Ford. And this is the EDP, and trust me, I like the EDP much more, way more than the EDT. There are many people who prefer the EDT being a little less intense, and I can't think of anything less intense that will do for me. This is what I want, this is what I need exactly. And yes, this is not exactly my choice of perfume when I'm going out on a hot day or I'm wearing something on a warm summer day or afternoon, but they work. This is absolute, you know, like a go-to fragrance from November through February, March easily. Maybe the very hot days of summer is not the best way to wear this one, wear Black Orchid, but the colder days, the semi-colder days, there can be nothing better. I cannot think of a more intoxicating, seductive and alluring perfume than this one. It's absolutely addictive. It has several notes that work beautifully. It has patchouli, it has Moroccan chocolate, it has orchid, of course, it has truffle, it has white musk and warm amber, and all of them, and a host of other ingredients, a host of other notes. And all I can tell you, the outcome is absolutely stunning, 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 stunning. And you will be surprised that I actually rate this much higher, way higher than many of the Perfume Collection perfumes of Tom Ford, because this is actually way better than many of them when it comes to projection, when it comes to longevity. This is way better. The next one is another Tom Ford, and this is a very popular fragrance that came out in 2007, and this is from the Perfume Collection. This is Tom Ford's Tobacco Veneer. And there are two things. First of all, I've been wearing a lot of this during the months of December, and I will wear it in January as well, whatever days that is left. But there are two things about it. First of all, this is a beautiful oriental woody fragrance. There is no doubt about the fact that the fragrance is absolutely stunning and very, very addictive and gorgeous in one word. But at the same time, what disappoints me is the fact that longevity is a very big issue. It does not last on my skin in the same way it starts off. That opening kind of vanishes in a while, in less than an hour, and what I'm left with is a beautiful woodiness, of course, but that is not exactly. I need a little bit of the sweetness along with the woodiness to make it more approachable, more likable for me, and that unfortunately I don't get after a while. After 2-3 hours, after 4 hours, this is like a distant memory, and which is, of course, as I said, a disappointment. But I've been wearing it nonetheless, and I've liked the perfume, but there's something, maybe my expectations are a bit too high. This is definitely a very beautiful winter fragrance, perfect for both men and women. And if it doesn't work for the man, it will not work for the woman as well in the same way, because the longevity and the consistency of the projection, the consistency of the performance, both are an issue that kind of disappoints me. I don't know. Again, perfumes are subjective and perfumes behave differently on different skin types, which is why take your own decision. Don't go just by mine. But I always suggest, because these are expensive perfumes, I will always suggest to go for a decant or a sample first and try it out. Be very sure of it before you buy it, because if you don't like it, there's no point of wasting money on even on a 50 ml bottle. But there is no doubt about the fact that this is very likable. The performance over a period of time is the question mark. And now I've come to the two robust blockbusters of my collection. These two are it would be unfair to call them give them a number 2 position and a number 1 position, because they are both two of my best friends when it comes to the winter months. Just because I can't describe them both at the same time, I'll take turns in describing them. The first one that comes to mind whenever I say winter is Kandal. It's Jean Paul Gaultier's Kandal, and This is an absolute, actually I wore it in the morning today when I went out. So Kandal has honey, blood orange, patchouli and gardenia, but the only thing that you get when you sniff it, the only thing that comes to your nose is honey. This is like a honey bomb, but at the same time, the sweetness, the intensity does not make you, just look at the juice color and you will know the intensity of the juice does not give you a headache or give you a bad time at any point of the time, at any point of your use. But at the same time, you have to understand, you have to be very careful not to overspray. I have had this for over 2 years now, and you can see how much I've used. That's because you need just a couple of sprays, not the entirely 5 sprays that we usually do, 5 or 6 sprays, because then it can last forever and ever and ever on your clothes, and even after washing you will find whiff of Kandal on your clothes, and you will find it difficult to wear any other perfume at the same time. So this is a gorgeous fragrance, 100 on 100 when it comes to longevity, sillage, projection, you name it, this one has it. It's an absolute stunning thing, and I don't know about other people, I love it. I absolutely love it. And whenever I have worn it, people have given me compliments. So of course, anything that gets me a compliment turns out to be a favorite. The next one is Girl of Now from the house of Elisab, and this is another stunner. It would be wrong to compare the two together because that one is more honey dominated. This one is different. Again, this one is a sweet fragrance, no doubt, but there's a lot of nutty creaminess working in here. I get a strong note of almond over here, and I think it has pistachio also, and it has orange blossom, it has patchouli and tonka bean. I don't get a very strong orange blossom to my nose, or even yes, tonka bean I do, but patchouli I am not very sure. This is absolutely gorgeous, even the color of the liquid, but at the same time you don't need to overspray this. Only a few sprays is enough to last you for days. On my clothes, this will not leave until they have been like kind of dry cleaned, and even then you might find a whiff of it. So they are so strong on my skin and on my clothes, and I absolutely love that. Longevity is something that almost every fragrance user is absolutely crazy about. That is the one thing that keeps us going, and without longevity, perfumes kind of lose their interest appeal. So we may like a perfume, but if the longevity is not as strong as we want it to be, then we kind of lose interest on them over a period of time. So these are my winter fragrances. I'm sorry I did not bring it to you earlier, and at least I've got it, so thank the gods for that, because I don't know what happened, why I didn't film it earlier, but at least I'm happy I got it at last. I hope you enjoyed the video, though I'm late, and I will see you soon, very soon, in my next one, and I promise that the next video will be very interesting for you. So till then, lots of love.